Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Stats That Exist But Do Not Matter. It's episode 110 and it's brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook. And guys, today we're talking about some shocking slow starts to begin the 2023 season. Now you may be saying, well wait a minute Jolly, these are some stats that probably do matter because these guys have been bad this year, but I fully believe that each and every one of these guys will be able to bounce back and turn in a great season. So technically, they don't matter. You've probably heard of this one by now, but Houston Astros first baseman Jose Abreu has gotten off to a really tough start. He's yet to hit a home run this year and has a .534 OPS per the recording of this video. His 49 OPS plus is definitely shocking. Here's what I found alarming though. His plate discipline not as good as it was last year. 29.8% in 2022 and 36.8% so far this year. He's also not hitting the ball nearly as hard. Last year, he was in the 93rd percentile of average exit velocity, and this year, he's in the 25th percentile. The Jose Abreu contract looked like one of the best of the offseason, so hopefully he can turn things around and be good for the Houston Astros. Speaking of another franchise face that's off to a slow start, Nolan Arenado and the St. Louis Cardinals are in some kind of weird funk right now. Arenado has just a .608 OPS and a strikeout rate over 20% so far this year. So far from year to year, his barrel percentage has decreased by 4.5%, and his average against four-seam fastballs has been jarringly different. A .311 clip in 2022 and a .176 clip so far this year. So Nolan Arenado isn't really hitting the fastball and isn't really hitting home runs, but I think we're pretty likely to see both those things turn around. Toronto Blue Jays fans, look away for this one. George Springer has had a really tough start to 2023. He's batting just .210 per the recording of this video with a .577 OPS. His 62 OPS plus from this year pales in comparison to his 177 OPS plus at the end of April last year. But the thing is, with his advanced metrics, things are still lining up pretty well. His expected batting average is mostly the same, .265 in 2022 and then .258 in 2023. His whiff rate has actually gone down a sizable amount, which is a good thing. He was whiffing 28% of the time last year and is only whiffing 18% of the time this year. So George Springer has had a tough start, but I fully believe a bounce back is coming, so long as he stays on the field. Let's turn things over to the other side of the ball and talk about some pitchers that are off to a tough start as well. The Atlanta Braves are off to a roaring hot start at the top of the NL East, but their closer in the back of the bullpen has not been sharp. AJ Minter has an ERA over 7 in 16 innings pitched so far this year. Last year at this point, his ERA was below 3 and his WHIP was 0.71. The thing is, like Springer, his advanced metrics show positive trends going forward in the season. His barrel rate has positively decreased from 8.8% last year to 6.8% this year. The only thing that I find a little bit concerning with AJ Minter is that his fastball velocity is down a considerable amount. He was throwing 94.2 on average last year and is down to 92.7 this year. With the emergence of Raisel Iglesias, I don't think the Braves will be using him to close games that much anymore. The last guy I want to highlight is another pitcher, this time a starting pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds, and that's Nick Ladolo. Ladolo's off to a rough start in his first 7 games with an ERA over 6, but the thing is, his start to last year wasn't great either. One of Ladolo's devastating pitches is his curveball, and the average against it right now is .286. The thing is, the expected batting average against that curveball is .162. That's a 120-point gap between those two values, and that should regress to the mean hopefully soon. Most of his metrics between years from April to April have been pretty similar as well, and this young kid has some flame-throwing fireball and stuff. I fully expect him to bounce back and be great this year for the Reds, but it's been a tough start for sure. So yeah, those are 5 players that are kind of off to a tough start in 2023, but I would not bet against them. In fact, if you want to sprinkle some bets on them right now, the odds are probably good over at the DraftKings Sportsbook, the sponsor of today's video. Guys, right now, new customers can bet just $5 on any pregame moneyline bet and get $150 in bonus bets if that bet cashes. And once you get that bonus bets money, sprinkle it in on some same-game parlays for an even bigger payout at the end of the day. Download the app now, use code STATS, S-T-A-T-S, bet $5 on a pregame moneyline wager, and get $150 in bonus bets instantly only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details, and thank you to them for sponsoring today's episode. Guys, I hope you at home are off to a hot start in 2023 because the same cannot be said for these guys. Hopefully they turn it around and can take after you. Hope you have a great rest of your week.